Kazan Yamaoka, also known as the Oni. Kazan Yamaoka lived in a time where samurai were the most feared and respected in Japanese culture. Wanting to surpass his father's reputation, who was a samurai, he saw the thinning of samurai culture with farmers pretending to be samurai as well. Despite his father's attempts at turning Kazan's attention to more noble pursuits, Kazan went on a grim journey to get rid of every samurai who he believed were imposters. His rage, bloodlust, and perverse sense of honor knew no bounds, as he would brutally kill anyone he sees and strip them of their armor. Monks all over the country believed he was possessed by something unholy, and people began to call him Oni Yamaoka, or the Rageful Samurai, making an insult to the Yamaoka family. This made Kazan go on a rampage, killing anyone that called him Oni Yamaoka, in hopes of redeeming his family name. It confused him. He had defeated the best and purified the samurai culture by killing off the imposters. Why would they refer to him as a cursed warrior? As Kazan made his way into the Lord's town, a samurai stepped in his way on the road. Clearly this one had heard what Kazan has done, and both of them started engaging with each other in combat. Throughout the fight, the samurai quickly secured the upper hand, but hesitated before finishing him off. With a devastating blow, Kazan crushed the samurai's head and cracked his helmet. What Kazan saw, however, was his own father, who looked at him with shame and regret. Kazan screamed in agony after realizing he killed his own father and fainted. When he woke up, he found his father and his armor gone. Walking aimlessly around the land, his head haunted him with voices of his father's taunts, reminding him of his failures, which set him into an uncontrollable rage. One day he approached the statue of an Oni, who he sees as ridiculing Kazan as an imposter samurai, the one he tried so desperately to get rid of. He shook off that voice in his head, and he remembered something. The reason he was even called Oni Yamaoka was because of the Lord that ridiculed him. With his renewed anger, he journeyed to where the Lord lived. Cutting down every samurai that stood in his way, he found the Lord hiding in the villa and punched his fist through the Lord's mouth, yanking out his tongue that desecrated his name. Satisfied, he exited the villa only to be met with dozens of farmers wielding different weapons. They all ganged up on Kazan, who couldn't fight all of them at once. It seemed karma finally got to him as the mob dragged Kazan to a small stone mill, brutally tortured him, and left his body to bleed out. Kazan went through a slow, agonizing death. That's when the entity came in to save him, as the farmers later returned to the mill to find the room being covered in black fog. Once it disappeared, so did Kazan's body and his kanabo. Thus began the legend of the Rageful Oni haunting the town. Remember how in the story it's mentioned how bloodthirsty of a killer he was being? Well, believe it or not, he's powered by the blood of his victims. Every time a survivor gets hit, blood orbs get scattered out of their bodies. Using his ability known as Yamaoka's Wrath, he can absorb the blood orbs to charge his Oni powers. He can quickly charge up every time he hits his healthy survivor. Once his blood charge is at full charge, he can unleash Blood Fury, which makes him go full Demon Hulk mode, switching from his katana to his kanabo. With this power now unleashed, he now has a new ability, Demon Dash, which allows him to sprint towards the survivor he sees, and Demon Strike, which instantly downs the survivor to the dying state. It takes a while to get used to his Demon Dash ability, seeing as while his movement speed increases, his maneuverability greatly reduces, making it harder to turn. Similar to how the sprint attack for Hillbilly and Leatherface's chainsaw attacks has the same problem. The only difference is that Oni's kanabo can hit multiple survivors at once due to him slamming it on the ground 3 times. I'm going to be honest with you guys, even I had a horrible time using Oni. I think if I practice with him a bit more, I'm sure my gameplay will be better than what you're seeing from me here. Either way, he's terrifying to deal with. Kazan's perks allows him to cause injured survivors to suffer from exhausted and hemorrhage status effects for 20 to 30 seconds whenever you hook a survivor, make a survivor become an obsession whenever they blind you or stun you with pallets, and even see their aura for 4 seconds while they suffer from oblivious for 40 to 60 seconds if the obsession switches to them, and see auras of pallets and windows revealed within 32 meters, and see the aura of survivors who drop a pallet for 3 to 5 seconds. Overall, I would give Oni an A tier. I'm sure as soon as I get better with Oni, he would definitely be one of my favorite killers in the game. The fact you can just injure one of them to collect blood orbs and then power up to charge at them, I mean, who wouldn't themselves seeing them get chased by that thing? The Japanese don't mess around when it comes to their ghost stories and urban legends. That's why they are my absolute favorite people when it comes to horror.